It is the mere belief in the illusion of lack that disconnects all of you from your own source and from the love inside of you. So I hope this answers your question.
Yes. Thank you. From Susan Gara. Is it true that although there may be no good or evil, no right or wrong, that your intention for us is to be good?
Good or evil is a subjective judgment seeding from an individual or personal value system. You create your own human self, your own human character, through your own subjective judgment, through your own personal values that you determine, and shows who you are. The world is created by the collective in such a way so that every single one of you can choose your judgment or lack thereof. If all physical realities would exist in a perfect state of love, bliss, and residing in the natural state of self, then all incarnations would become obsolete and expansion would come to a hold. Now understand that what I am trying to explain to you is far more complex than what I am saying now. But it is, let's just say that the human mind is not yet ready to comprehend that complexity. Energies need to flow, as that is what is called life or existence. I was talking about the universal heart before. Well, when that heart stops expanding and contracting, when that energy flow stops moving, life or consciousness ceases to exist. That said, what I will share next is still very hard for a human mind to fully comprehend. And again, due to the complexity, very hard to express with a very limited vocabulary through which humans communicate. So the complexity of what I will express cannot be fully fathomed by the human mind, but I will try. Understand this. It is every soul's desire to explore all aspects of the self in the infinite realities and different dimensional and vibrational frequencies through the creation of millions and millions of unique individual characters and incarnations. It is its desire to eventually rise its vibration to a level of God frequency, in a way to come back full circle and reintegrate with God's source, which is a natural thing to do for every soul, because at that level of vibration, there will be only a complete identification of God. So let me try and put that simpler. Every incarnation leads to an expansion of your higher self's soul vibration, which means with everything you learn and rediscover about yourself, it's more a remembrance of who you are, but in practicality, then the vibrational frequency of your soul expands and rises. And it's its ultimate goal to rise at such a level that it becomes part of God again, that it reintegrates with that source. And that is not going to be a sacrifice or a sad event. It is the evolution of the understanding and the total integration that I am God and you are God and everyone around you is God. So every soul has the desire to eventually rise its vibration to that level of God frequency, and in this way come back full circle and reintegrate with God. So yes, it is yours and God's intention to complete this circle of self-validation and return to love. But understand that from that love, new consciousness are born from that expanded God source. And the adventure continues, but founded from a newly gained God frequency. Because as you grow, God grows, and so the continuous flow and change of energy continues and grows as well. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Might have to listen to that a few times, but yes.
It's
a
basically
lot to take in.
It is basically taking God grows through your experiences. You are God and I am you. If you want to humanize it, let me try and humanize it. I am you and you are me. Therefore, it is the ultimate evolutionary cycle to re-identify and reintegrate with oneself. So as you, as individual parts of me, expand and remember through physical experiences who you are, it is the natural result that eventually that awareness of who you are will be reached, and therefore the separation between you and I can no longer exist.
Yes. Thank you.
I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Shay McKeon, do you like the name God? If you could choose a name, what would you choose?
You can call that which is beyond the limited egoic mind whatever resonates with you. But just to amuse you and please your human ego, the all, or the infinite, the transcendent, the creator, the eternal, are more all-inclusive labels and resonate better with the frequency of God. Does that answer please you?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That's helpful. Adelaide Laguerre, do you take offense when someone says, "God damn it," or curses you in anger? Or do you know they don't really mean it, it's just a human thing?
A very common question, and many apologies usually follow after the "God damn it."
Sorry.
Do not feel sorry, sweet Pam. No is the answer. Because all are God's children and all are God. Taking offense to the creation of my children would mean taking offense to my own creation and my creation of free will. Also, in order to experience any feelings of being offended, God would need an ego, a sense of self, which he does not, as it is all that is and all that is not. God's love is unconditionally So no matter what they choose to experience in this physical incarnation, or how they choose to express themselves and the energies they feel inside, all are embraced by the loving arms of God, because all are love.
Love it. Thank you. I'm feeling a sense of humor here.
Don't you
So
think
just
God can have a sense of humor?
I know God has a sense of humor, and I'm so pleased to see it here today. Thank you.
God created humor.
Thank you for that. Oh, thank you. The best thing. One final question for this session is from Alice, and she would like to know, how can we reach peace and lasting happiness on earth?
Again, a difficult question to comprehend from a human mind. When you start to embrace the balance that has always resided within each and every one of you, but has been overshadowed by human conditioning, human limiting thoughts and beliefs, by becoming what you call yin and yang, uniting all aspects of the self by creating a balanced understanding and experiencing of the absolute and the relative. The absolute being the understanding that you are nothing and everything, that you are not the character that you choose to play upon this earth, but that you are far greater than the human mind can currently comprehend. The relative being the earthly manifestations that you choose to attract and create, which, from your spiritual self's perspective, is always based and founded within a source of love for oneself and all others, even if from the human perspective that is almost impossible to accept or comprehend. It is very hard for humans to accept that they have chosen suffering, that they have chosen challenges. However, the higher self chose this with full love for oneself's expansion, but also to be of service to other people's expansion. What seeds out of the union of these two polarities, the absolute and the relative, is man stepping away from the dualistic identification, and a new divine consciousness starts to grow within the physical experience. But understand this: inner happiness and peace cannot be experienced from solely an intellectual understanding. This universal truth and becoming can only be experienced when the balancing of all levels of self are experienced fully. So when in physical reality, you find and experience balance between the absolute and the relative within your entire beingness, you will approach the experience of the great reality, and your life will start to revolve around the transcendent reality. This way, the unhealthy and distorted ego will start to dissolve, and a healthy ego or true knowing of the self emerges. This will come with a massive amount of challenges, as one will have to be willing to simultaneously face one's greatest fears and acknowledge and practice one's inherent powers. So it's about being able to do both. In doing so, your subconscious fears, your sorrows, and your untruths will emerge to the surface, which can be painful. But they have to emerge so they can be processed and be embraced with love energy. And your divine essence and beauty will rise in the light and come into your conscious awareness. So understand that this would happen simultaneously. So you can understand that this is a difficult process for humans to go through and create much confusion within themselves and within their minds. So over time, as humans say, all fear, how would I explain this? Over time, all fear-infused phenomena produced by the fearful or unconscious mind will become apparent and fade away in the light frequency that you will now reside in. Are you understanding what I am saying? It is creating balance between the darkness and the light. And through allowing the dark to emerge and the light, and embracing the light that has always been inside of you, you find that balance and the dark fades away in the light. So the key to succeeding, and keep in mind this is a practice, this from your human timeline will take patience, it will take practice, it will take self-discipline. But the key to succeeding is having faith. Unfortunately, many of you are confused about what faith really is. To have faith is the opposite of to believe. Believe is intellectual. It is accepting something on the level of mind to create a sense of safety and comfort. It is the mind's way of trying to control or label experience, which only leaves you to reside in a state of constant resistance of the unwanted or undesired. Faith, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. Faith is a total surrendering to what is, was, and will be. Faith is a reflection of the state of the absolute. It is staying in a place of not knowing and accepting whatever arises. Faith is surrendering to the pull of all that is, and in doing so, dismantling or dissolving this frequency of resistance, and instead embracing a frequency of pure peace and bliss. Once we are in that vibration of spiritual acceptance, you will then have a more inner guided, intuitive, and more correct module to rely on to respond accordingly to whatever arises. You see, spiritual acceptance does not mean being indifferent or being tolerant. It just allows you to not act or respond to challenges or opportunities from a source of fear. But instead, it enhances your inner communication and higher dimensional guidance that will lead to taking action or reacting from a source of love. To end this session, let me all reveal this to you. This process is already happening now in your current timeline. This is what you call ascension. Ascension does not take you into a new world or changes your identity, but it alters how you perceive yourself from within. And in doing so, this inner transcendence mirrors itself outside of you. In other words, inner change and identification with the true self alters the world outside of yourself, because no matter what you believe, All of you are responsible for the physical world that surrounds you through the creative powers that you all possess. So have faith, love, and know that you are loved unconditionally. Moving into a more enlightened state of being does not mean giving up who you are, but adds more knowing to who you thought you were. Life as you design it is for yourself. Life is not meant to just happen or to let happen. You have to participate. You have to create. So become the creator that you intended to be. Take responsibility and always act from a source of love. Because what you do for yourself, you do for others, and vice versa. Because you are them and they are you. So choose love above else and continue the road to ascension. That should be your main focus today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for coming through. Thank you for allowing us to connect by way of Emma, and that Emma is our conduit to you, that she is a gift that can translate those messages that you have for us. So much gratitude, so much love for Emma and our experience and your messages that you've given us today. Thank you so much.
Best wishes to all, and know that I love you.
We love you. Thank you.
All right, guys, that was it for today. I am sore and aching all over the place. I feel like my body has just ran a marathon and every muscle is tight and tense. A little bit of a headache right now. I'm very tired. Whew. It was a challenge to channel such a high vibrational energy into my lower vibrational body, but we managed to do it. And I want to thank Pam for having the courage to do this with me and ask all the questions. I don't know what was all said, so I'm going to have to rewatch it myself. Pam is a little bit blown away. It's like, I'm going to have to re-listen. Hopefully this its message resonates with you, you know, I don't know how it addressed Pam, because I usually don't see myself what comes out, but to me, when it addresses me or it communicates with me, it never really feels like a person. It feels more like a neutral energy source that contains all emotionality without identifying itself with that emotionality. It is present, humor, laughter, joy, sadness, but it doesn't identify itself with all of those like humans do. It doesn't claim it as its own. It is just present in its being. So thank you guys. Thank you for being here again. And if you guys like this video, don't forget to push the like and subscribe. Share. Sharing is caring. This is what Lisa and Pam always say. Sharing is caring. If you like this video, let us know. If you want to see more God interviews, let us know. And we will see what we can do. Bye, guys.